Hello there guys, for today's video I'm going to show you how to make a spin blur effect in Photoshop. And also we will dive deeper into masking our subject and using path blur. So let's get started. So here in our document, I got here an image of this man, and our goal here is to apply a spin blur effect on its background. So the very first step we're going to do here is we're going to the layers panel, select on our background layer, and then right click on it, and then we're going to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to click on this, duplicate layer, and then select OK. Now this time I'm going to hide this one first, the background. Okay, that will be used for the before and after later on. Now selected on a background copy layer, we're going to create a selection of our subject here. So to do that, with this background copy layer selected, I'm going onto the menu bar and go to select, under select, find subject. And Photoshop will create a selection on this man. And there you have it. But there are unnecessary selections. So to remove that, we're going to make use of a quick selection tool. So where to find that? Going on to the toolbar, go onto the fourth tool, first, second, third, fourth. Yes, this one, click on it, or W for the shortcut key. And then for the options, I'm going to select subtract from selection, this one. And then I may now start deselecting those areas. Another thing, I also want to add a selection on these yellow lines. So again, with this quick selection tool selected, I'm going on the options, click on this, add to selection. Once it's selected, now I may now start creating a selection on those yellow lines, something like this. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Going back, now once our selection is done, we're gonna create a subject's own layer. So to do that, with this selection, press Ctrl plus J. And there you have it. Now I'm gonna hide this one for you to see what happens. Now this layer, so in this layer, this is how it looks like. Alright, and then let's bring this background copy layer back. Okay, just click at that one. And now let's go to background copy layer. And now we're going to apply the spin blur effect. So with that layer selected, go into the toolbar and go to filter. Under filter, find blur gallery. And under blur gallery, choose on path blur. On this path blur, you will notice here that there are anchor points over here. And yes, it creates an arrow. So from the first point, at this point, I'm going to click and drag it here on the ground. And the other point, I'm going to click and drag that on top of this man. Something like this. Okay? And as you have noticed here that there's a point in the middle. So I'm going to click and drag it to the left and look at the effect on what happens. All right? So it's something like the blur is moving in this direction. Okay, now let's create another arrow here. So to do that, all you have to do is to click to create a new anchor point, something like that. And then let's put the other point here. Okay, and then select on that point from where the arrow will be. Okay, so once I click that once again, you can see the arrow is already there. Now, from the point in the middle, I'm just going to click and drag this one going to the right instead. Okay, so once I did that, now it creates this spinning blur effect, or you can also fix that. All right, now for the blur, well, you can adjust that. Just go here on the options from the blur, from the path blur. Okay, so from the speed, you can add a percentage on that. So for me, I am good with 90%. All right, and there you go. All right, once you're happy with your work, don't forget to select OK. Now our spin blur is done. Now let me show you the before and after. So this one is the before and this one is the after. And that is how to make a spin blur effect in Photoshop.